you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network, or you're watching us. Also very exciting. We're on Broadway World every week with exclusive content. And we are talking to you about this amazing 2024, maybe the year of the musical on Broadway for sure. And I had the chance the other day to go see Days of Wine and Roses, which was the movie, which then got rave reviews in pre-Broadway, got rave reviews on Broadway. David Jennings is here. I have seen David Jennings sing with some of the biggest pop stars in the world. I have seen David Jennings be on an island. I've seen David Jennings be a father to Tina Turner. I've seen David Jennings do all sorts of things, and we're going to get the full scoop about what it's like to do. This show's deep to do 8 shows a week, David. Deep. David Jennings is here.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Robert.
I know you from Brooklyn, which was a many moons ago, David.
Whoa. Yes. Wow. That's going way back. Indeed.
That goes back. And when I was doing the deep dive on your career, I was looking back at some of these pictures and I said, I know Eden. I know Brooklyn. I remember seeing that show. It's been quite the ride for you.
Yeah. Sort of unplanned, but kind of, it was. I'm very happy about that.
When you say unplanned, what does that mean? How?
You know what? Because I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be an actor or that I was going to be on Broadway. That didn't happen until much later because I went to college for something totally different and was going to go to law school and all of that. And so once this all kind of started, it just sort of snowballed. And here I am in Days of Wine and Roses.
How did it happen? What was the moment where you thought like, okay, maybe there's actually a career for this?
Well, you know what? My mom was a performer, and so all of us kids grew up with music lessons and dance lessons and whatever, but we sort of did it for fun and didn't really think of it as a career. And so while I was in college, I remember coming to New York for a visit for something totally unrelated, went to see a Broadway show, and I was like, I might want to do this all the time. And so then opportunities just started presenting themselves, and something fell in my lap. And I fell with it, and the rest sort of happened.
The rest is a whole lineup of a lot of Broadway shows, a lot of television, a lot of theater around this country, and a whole body of work. So we're here to talk about what right now you can go get your tickets. Go to Days of Wine and Roses, Broadway.com to get tickets. Go get your tickets. It has amazing all-star cast, led by these two right here, Brian and Kelly O'Hara. What was your journey like with this show? How did you get the call that you were going to originally be in it? And then what was it like when you heard it was coming to Broadway?
Well, I got a call from my agents, and they asked me if I'd be interested in doing this project off Broadway at the Atlantic Theater, which was going to be Days of Wine and Roses. And Neil Pepe, who's the artistic director down there, I had worked with in another Broadway show, Hands on a Hard Body. He directed that. And he had always been saying to me, you should come down to the Atlantic and do something sometime. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe this is the time that might happen. And so went to the audition. Michael Greif called and said, hey, would you like to do it at the Atlantic? I did it. And then we got the call for Broadway. And here we are.
Here you are. So what is it like when you jump on that stage? Firstly, it's an iconic space because you're in Studio 54.
Oh, yeah.
And you're with an iconic cast. So what is it like when you get to tell it's a beautiful, sad, heavy, gorgeously sung score. How do you get through 8 shows a week?
For Brian and Kelly, it's probably a lot heavier because they have so much heavy lifting to do. But the thing that we make sure we do is there's so much levity going on backstage. We make sure that we all meet and congregate before the show, and we have laughs and we have fun in the wings and in the stairwell and the dressing rooms. And so we find a balance to make sure that the material doesn't just weigh us down. But yeah, it is really heavy, and we do have to do it 8 times a week.
Well, if you're familiar with the film, with the Jack Lemmon classic film, if you're familiar with any of these amazing, Sharon Catherine Brown was just here a couple weeks ago. She's the Sunshine, and all of you all that are a part of this cast are just all-star Broadway credits galore. So get your tickets. You have till March 31st. So do you have a self-care routine? Like, what do you do to take care of your body, mind, and spirit when you're on Broadway? Like some shows you do, it's a lot of heavy lifting. Some shows, maybe it's not as much, but there has to be something there's a real routine to theater actors' life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. First of all, making sure that I take care of me, and making sure my health is good, and not just for me, but for the rest of my coworkers, because we can't bring something into the theater. So I make sure I get a lot of rest. I make sure that I drink a ton of water. I've got my big old water jug next to me right here. I take my wellness formula. I go to the gym 3 times a week. I make sure I try to do that, and just try to stay active and healthy, and for the rigors of doing 8 shows a week, and of course walking upstairs in Broadway theaters, which are crazy. You got to go up way high. Fortunately, not this one, but a lot of theaters you're climbing stairs a lot.
Well, if you mind going down a little walk memory lane and go through some of your credits, if you don't mind talking.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, right now, like we said, Jim right now is the role and the character in Days of Wine and Roses, and then we did see you and Tina on Broadway. Yep. That was, talk about a shot out of a cannon, an energy extravaganza that show was like. How do you describe the journey that you were with Tina?
My God, it was wild because I opened the show, and not only opened the show, but with this big, rousing, high singing gospel number, which meant, especially on matinee days, get up early and warm up and vocalize, because if that first number is off, the rest of the show, you don't know what's going to happen. So that was tough. That was tough. And I'm actually glad that for this show, I don't have to really sing, I don't sing at all, but just to act and tell the story through the acting. For sure. Tina was fun. Tina was a lot of fun.
We had fun. We had fun in the audience. I mean,
especially those last 5 minutes. Yeah.
Full rock and roll concerts.
Yes, we did.
Well, you all put on a show, and you gave us all a really great time, and to be there and have Tina go to the show and Adrian win the tone. It was a magical show to watch, for sure, at least from the seats.
So much so.
Once on This Island was one of the most gorgeous productions I had ever seen, from the goat, chicken, to this cast. This cast, when the show opened, and then this show, and seeing it in the round, it was one of the most beautiful nights that you could see in the theater. What was it like to be a part of that show?
Wow. First of all, having the audience that close to you was something brand new, because, we're used to just being on a stage and the audience is way out there in the dark. And we saw them, we felt them, we heard them. So it was quite an experience. Also, kudos to Michael Arden for just being having the mindset to create some of that stuff. We would be in rehearsals and look at him and go like, how did you come up with that, dude? It was such an incredible piece of theater. People to this day will come to see like Days of Wine and Roses and say, I love this show, but I remember Once on This Island, and that was incredible. And it was for us as well, especially winning the Tony. Great.
You guys won and you were like the little show in the circle in the square against the big monsters, and you all win the Tony on Tony night.
Sure did. Yes, we did.
And so many stars. Cole Isaac is a star. Haley is a star. Like, you all are stars. Like, this show was stars.
Oh yeah.
And David, I may have a partner and I may have a husband, but Merle Dandridge, I think, is my little celebrity hall pass, because that is a gorgeous lady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's beautiful inside and out.
You all did that show. And then I have to bring up After Midnight, which was another amazing show. What is it like when you're a standby? What is it like? What is the life of a standby like? You did that show. There were superstars. I mean, not just Broadway stars. I'm talking about music royalty in that show.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like to work with them? What was it like to jump on that stage?
Wow. It was weird, because so many of these people who came through After Midnight, that included Fantasia, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, Babyface, Dule Hill. So many of these people are folks that I had looked up to for a long time, but yet we had to still do the work. And so a lot of times I would just have to close that off and just think about, okay, we're just doing a show, do the work, and don't worry about the other part. And then afterwards you go, that was Patti LaBelle, or that was Vanessa Williams, or that was, whatever. So It was amazing. And just waiting backstage for me, because I was a standby, you know, sometimes it was just really chill times. Other times it was like, you're just on call. You can get a call anytime you're on. And that did happen, actually. So,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I saw the show with Fantasia, and I saw the show with Miss LaBelle. No, firstly, nobody does music like Patti LaBelle, period. And
period. Right.
And my first professional gig ever was I was in a children's choir at Juilliard, and they were doing a tribute concert to Laura Nyro at the Beacon Theater, and we were the background vocals for Patti LaBelle's finale.
Yes.
And the lesson I learned with Patti LaBelle is that she doesn't need to know the words to one damn song. She is going to do whatever she wants to do, and it is going to be brilliant. So how is it like when you work with a pop star who's not necessarily a theater person? You must be on your toes, because you don't know what's going to come out.
You don't, but that's with any actor, because an actor, you can just go up at any given time and forget a line or slip a line or something. And so, you know, listening is something that we learn early in theater is, you know, because you're shot out of a cannon. Once the show starts, it doesn't stop. So anything can happen. But funny story about Patti, because I've loved her for so many years. I remember coming to work one Saturday matinee, and I arrived just at half hour, and I was going up to the dressing room, and I walked in the room, and she was there, and she was just there hanging out, wanted to just talk and hang, you know, just chat. And I'm looking around like, wow, Patti LaBelle just wants to talk. Okay, let's do it. So yeah, it was quite an amazing show. Great show, a lot of fun to do. Great people came through, and we had a blast.
I'm a little obsessed. I was obsessed with the show, I have to be honest. So, and then
did you see the Tonys? Did you see us open the Tonys?
I did, with all the with all the star power that you all brought it.
Yeah.
When you have done, there's other shows that have seemed to cycle through your life, if it's regionally or around. Ain't Misbehaving, Dreamgirls. You've done Dreamgirls, multiple productions of that show.
With Jennifer Holliday, I did it. I was Curtis with her.
You were Curtis with Miss Holliday.
What
is it like to share a stage with someone who, I mean, there's no more iconic moment in Broadway history than her, and what she paved the way for so many performers who can sing their faces off. What was it like every night when she did the song?
I had to do my grocery list during, and I am telling you, and think about anything else, because here is Jennifer Holliday standing this close to me singing, and I am telling you, to me. And it takes every ounce of your body to just not freak out and go, you know, for every musical theater person who would wish they were in this moment. So I would just have to just blank it out and freak out about it later. But that was the best seat in the house, because everybody came to hear, and I'm telling you, and I'm standing right there just hearing it 8 times a week.
She's singing it, right?
Yeah. With her hands all on me, and all of that. So, okay. Yeah.
One of the greatest moments of the show was doing an in-person conversation with Jennifer Holliday. And I'm so happy for Jennifer Holliday, I think, to get the due that she so deserved, because I really think she changed musical theater forever.
So true. So true.
When you look at television and your TV credits, if it's Law and Order, which is like a rite of passage for an actor, or Blue Bloods, another New York rite of passage here, with The Shield, all of the procedural shows. How do you is there a difference? The theater life, the TV life, is acting. How do you differentiate the two?
Oh my God, yeah, so much of a difference, because at a theater, for example, you might have 1,500 people in the auditorium, and so you have to play so that the people in the back row or up in the balcony can see what you're doing. On television, sometimes the camera is like right here. I remember doing The Shield, and they were filming a scene where the camera was literally right here. And so it's all about just the movement of the eyes, and not in theater, you know, you got to do that. But it's a huge difference. And it's a lot more subtle. So, you know, we have to flip the switch when we go from Broadway to TV.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot more TV, I'm sure, coming its way for you, and a lot more theater. Oh, it is. It definitely is. When people come in and they come to see Days of Wine and Roses, the musical at Studio 54. Get your tickets. You have until March 31st. And then I'm sure you'll see them at the Tonys. When you go up there and do the show, what is your thought process for you personally when people leave that theater? What is the theme? What do you want people to leave with? What message do you hope the show leaves with them?
I think for all pieces of theater, I want people to be able to feel something, whatever that is. And specifically with this show, because it's such a heavy topic and people are going through alcoholism to this day, right now, it's important for them to feel something. It's important for me as an actor, as the sponsor, to be authentic. I can't tell you how many times I leave the theater and I meet people who stop me and say, hey, I'm in a program right now. I've been sober for 12 years. I've been sober for 2 weeks. And you remind me so much of my sponsor. So being authentic and telling the story for real without thinking of being an actor in the story is probably the thing that I take away from it the most, because it's a real journey for a lot of people.
If I needed a sponsor, your voice would calm me right down. That is voiceover voice right there. Come on.
Tell my agent. There's voiceover material.
Voiceover. Send the voiceover sides over. Was there a process? Did you do any research? I mean, alcoholism affects all families, people that are clean and sober, people who don't admit there's a problem, children of alcoholics, family members, husbands, wives, partners. What did you have to, is you were just responding to their behavior? Was there any research that you had to do to know about what it's like?
Yeah, tons of research. First of all, I have a family member who is sober now and had gone through that program. And so I spoke to them. I spoke to Craig Lucas, who wrote the book, who actually gave me an actual AA sponsors book and said, just take a look at this and read it. And I think that was a tipping point for me. Like when I read that and saw like what it's really about, that changed a lot for me. And it really made me just engulf myself in the role and in the process.
Well, I think what the show does so beautifully as just an audience member who went on a Wednesday night was that it's the humanity of the story is really because sometimes we just hear the words, alcohol, alcoholism, alcoholic, and we have such a feeling, a negative thought, but they're human beings and they're trying to get help in this process. And you're showing that on stage, and the intricacies of relationships and of it is really something beautiful. A lot of people.
It's so great to feel that from the audience, that they get it, they feel it, that they're not disconnected from it. And so it's a great turn for me, especially for someone who's been a singer in shows, to just focus on that. And I'm very happy about it. I love it.
Well, we're excited. Get your tickets. You have till the end of the month.
Yes, March 31st.
Come on down. You can look, it's in the perfect part of New York City. You could have a little drink and you could have a little, well, maybe not drink. You could have a little something to eat.
Do though. Right. They do.
They do. There's a line at the bar, even at Days of Wine and Roses. And get yourself some food. Come on down to Studio 54. It's such a fun place to see a show. And it's a beautiful, nuanced performance that everyone is giving, top to bottom. Really, congratulations.
Thanks so much. Kelly and Brian, everybody's great. And we'd love to see everybody come on down before March 31st.
Come on down. Days of Wine and Roses, Broadway.com. Go get your tickets. And David's got a whole bunch of work and things coming your way. Don't you worry. Stay up to date. Watch out. Get those tickets and be on it. Thank you so much for spending time. We are such fans of your art.
My pleasure.
It's been a...
Thank you. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you.